During the summer of 1979, the crew of Somewhere in Time faced a problem that seemed almost as surreal as the movie's plot. The Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, where much of the filming took place, was booked with vacationing guests during the peak season. Instead of shutting the hotel down entirely, director Gene Zwark and his team had to work around the schedules of real guests. Crew members whispered about how guests in elegant period clothing, meant only for background scenes, occasionally mingled with actual vacationers who had wandered into frame. On more than one occasion, the extras were asked to pause filming so the hotel's daily routines such as meals, tours, and music in the ballroom could continue uninterrupted. That blending of real life and stage time travel created moments where even the cast admitted it was difficult to tell where history ended and fantasy began. The origins of the film trace back to Richard Matheson's fascination with time and fate. He had been staying at the luxurious Hotel del Coronado in California when he noticed a portrait of actress Maud Adams, who had lived decades before. That single image inspired his novel Bid Time Return in 1975. Matheson built an entire story around the idea of a modern man falling in love with someone long gone, bridging the impossible gap through sheer will. This personal encounter with an old photograph mirrored exactly what Christopher Reeve's character Richard Collier experiences when he sees Elise McKenna's portrait in the Grand Hotel. The choice of Mackinac Island as the filming location added even more authenticity. The island, which bans automobiles, felt preserved in another century. Equipment had to be moved on horse-drawn wagons, and the cast was often transported by carriage. Residents still recall seeing Christopher Reeve in costume strolling near the waterfront and Jane Seymour walking along the gardens in full Edwardian dress. For locals, it felt like their quiet island had briefly been transported back to 1912, the very year the film's love story unfolds. One of the more unusual production stories came from the use of the hotel's massive dining hall. Since the hotel was fully operational during filming, crew members would often sneak in after midnight to transform the room into a movie set. Carpets were rolled back, chandeliers adjusted, and cameras placed quietly so as not to disturb sleeping guests. At dawn, everything had to be restored, leaving no trace for the visitors who came down for breakfast. This nightly transformation gave the production team a feeling of secrecy, as though they were borrowing time themselves to make the story real. John Barry's haunting score added another layer to the sense of unreality. Though best known for his work on James Bond films, Barry approached Somewhere in Time differently. He had suffered the loss of his wife not long before composing the music, and some crew members recalled that he poured his grief into the score. The aching melody of theme from Somewhere in Time seemed to echo not only the film's romance, but the bittersweet tone of life's fleeting nature. The music became inseparable from the film, often played in the Grand Hotel's ballroom long after production ended. When filming concluded, the island's residents were left with stories that felt as magical as the film itself. Guests who happened to be staying at the hotel during production told friends about seeing actors in Victorian clothes appear at odd hours, or about hearing music drifting down hallways when no orchestra was present. Many swore that the blending of past and present during those weeks gave the hotel an aura it had never shaken off. Although Somewhere in Time initially struggled upon release in 1980, the film later became a beloved classic, in part because it carried with it the atmosphere of its extraordinary making. The combination of Richard Matheson's inspiration, the timeless Grand Hotel, and the unusual production challenges created a story that felt lived in rather than fabricated. The film stands as a reminder that even behind the camera, moments of coincidence, inconvenience, and quiet magic can shape a story as profoundly as the script itself.